All right, get cozy, because tonight you're getting 30 minutes of NBA bedtime stories. Some are hilarious, some are inspiring, and some are downright unbelievable. Legends, current players, coaches, podcasters, even celebrities, they all have stories that keep this league alive. So, let's turn down the lights and start the journey. The Kobe and Shaq bedtime drama. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, two of the greatest players of all time. On the court, unstoppable. Off the court, it was a soap opera. Kobe thought Shaq was lazy. Shaq thought Kobe was selfish. They traded insults through the media. They almost came to blows in practice, and teammates had to constantly choose sides. But here's the crazy part. Every time they stepped on the court together, all that tension turned into pure domination. 3 straight championships, endless highlights, and one of the greatest dynasties ever. The bedtime moral? Sometimes the people you fight with the most are the ones you create magic with. Jokic and the horses. Most NBA stars spend their summers in the gym, working on their game, but not Nikola Jokic. As soon as the season ends, he's back in Serbia, at the horse track. He literally runs to see his horses the moment he lands. Reporters once asked him if he was excited for the championship parade after winning the title. His response? "I want to go home." And he meant it. Home to his stables. Imagine the best player in the world caring more about horses than basketball. That's Jokic. The bedtime lesson? Sometimes greatness comes from balance, not obsession. Dennis Rodman's Vegas escape. Picture this. The Bulls are in the 1998 Finals, fighting for their 6th ring. Every player is locked in, focused, except Dennis Rodman. Rodman disappears. Where? Las Vegas, with Carmen Electra. He partied so hard, the team literally had to track him down and drag him back. But here's the wild twist. He returned, locked down Karl Malone, and the Bulls won. Rodman lived his life on the edge, but when it came time to play, he flipped the switch. The bedtime story? Some players need calm. Rodman needed chaos. Giannis's family hustle. Before Giannis was the Greek freak, he was just a kid in Athens, selling watches and DVDs on the street with his brothers to help his family survive. He sometimes slept in the gym after practice because he couldn't afford transportation. And even when he made it to the NBA, his first paycheck, he sent all the money back to his family and had no cash for a cab to the arena. He literally ran to the game. Today he's a champion and 2-time MVP, but he never forgets where he came from. That bedtime story? Even the biggest giants start small. The Gilbert Arenas Gun Show. Not every NBA story is pretty. Gilbert Arenas was a star guard for the Wizards, known for his crazy personality. But one day, a locker room argument with teammate Javaris Crittenton turned into one of the league's darkest scandals. Arenas brought guns into the locker room. Yes, actual guns. Both players were suspended, their careers derailed, and the league cracked down harder on player conduct. Today, Arenas laughs about it on podcasts, but back then, it was chaos. The bedtime moral? Even stars can make mistakes that change everything. Luka Doncic, the teen prodigy. At 16, Luka Doncic was already playing pro ball in Europe, dominating grown men. By 19, he was EuroLeague MVP, so when he entered the NBA, people thought he'd need time to adjust. Nope, he was dropping triple-doubles on veterans by his rookie year. Kobe Bryant once said Luka was way ahead of schedule, and LeBron James admitted Luka's passing reminded him of Magic Johnson. Luka's bedtime story? Sometimes the prodigy is ready before the world is. Kevin Garnett's trash talk. Kevin Garnett might be the most intense player ever. He didn't just talk trash, he invented it. He'd bark like a dog, curse in your ear, even scream at himself to hype up. But the wildest story? He once told Carmelo Anthony that his wife tasted like Honey Nut Cheerios. Melo was so furious, he waited outside the Celtics team bus to fight him. The bedtime lesson? Words can start wars, even in the NBA. Charles Barkley versus the window. Charles Barkley was never boring. One night at a bar, he got into a fight with a heckler and threw the man straight through a plate glass window. When reporters asked if he regretted it, Charles said, "Yeah, I regret we weren't on the first floor." That's Barkley in a nutshell. Tough, honest, and hilarious. Decades later, the same guy is on TV making us laugh every week on Inside the NBA. Bedtime story? Some wild personalities only get better with age. The Paul Pierce wheelchair mystery. Game 1 of the 2008 Finals. Paul Pierce collapses, clutching his knee. He's carried off in a wheelchair. The crowd gasps. It looks like the Celtics' hopes are crushed. Minutes later, Pierce jogs back onto the court like a hero, drilling threes. Fans called it the Willis Reed moment of our generation. But years later, Pierce admitted the truth. He didn't hurt his knee. He just had to go to the bathroom. The bedtime story of the most dramatic bathroom break ever. LeBron's million-dollar body. LeBron James is still dominating after 22 years in the league. His secret? He spends over $1 million every year on his body. Cryotherapy chambers, chefs, personal trainers, massage therapists, hyperbaric oxygen tanks. You name it. LeBron treats his body like the most valuable investment in the world. And guess what? It pays off. The bedtime lesson? Sometimes the secret to greatness is maintenance. The podcaster's era. These days, the best NBA stories aren't always told by reporters. They're told by the players themselves. JJ Redick's podcast breaks down the game like a professor. Paul George casually drops stories about how Kawhi Leonard recruited him. Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson on All the Smoke get legends to confess everything from locker room fights to championship secrets. Even Draymond Green uses his podcast to fire shots at rivals. Bedtime story? In today's NBA, the microphone is as powerful as the basketball. The celebrity chapter. The NBA isn't just a league, it's a stage, and celebrities love it. Jack Nicholson has been courtside for decades as the Lakers' #1 fan. Drake trolls opponents from the sidelines in Toronto, even rubbing coaches' shoulders. Rihanna cheered so loud for LeBron during the finals that it became a meme. And Adam Sandler? He just shows up to random pickup games and dominates like an honorary NBA vet. Bedtime story? Sometimes the sideline is as entertaining as the game itself. The Malice at the Palace. 2004, Pacers versus Pistons. A fight breaks out on the court. Ron Artest lies down on the scorer's table to cool off until a fan throws a beer at him. Artest loses it, runs into the stands, and punches the fan. Chaos explodes. Players, fans, security. It's mayhem. The NBA handed out some of the harshest suspensions ever. Careers were altered. The league's image was shaken. The bedtime story? Never, and I mean never, throw a beer at an NBA player. Steph Curry, the baby-faced assassin. When Steph Curry entered the NBA, people doubted him. Too small, too fragile, bad ankles. But Steph had a secret weapon, unlimited range. He started pulling up from 30 feet, and soon defenders didn't know what to do. Fast forward to today, and he's the greatest shooter in history, with 4 championships and 2 MVPs. Kids in driveways don't yell Kobe anymore. they yell Curry. Bedtime story? Sometimes the guy they doubt ends up changing the game forever. The mystery of MJ's flu game. 1997 Finals, Game 5. Michael Jordan stumbles onto the court, pale, sweating, exhausted. He looks like he can't stand, but he plays 44 minutes, scores 38 points, and leads the Bulls to victory. The world calls it the flu game. But was it the flu? Some say it was food poisoning from bad pizza. Others whisper it was a hangover. Jordan swears it was bad food. The truth? Still debated. But the bedtime story remains the same. Even at his weakest, Michael Jordan was still the strongest. And that's it. 30 minutes of NBA bedtime stories. Legends, active stars, coaches, podcasters, celebrities, all woven into the wild history of the league. Some funny, some inspiring, some downright crazy. The NBA isn't just a sport, it's a never-ending storybook. Sweet dreams, and remember, tomorrow always brings another chapter.